This is the moment to ask ourselves hard questions about the nature of today's threats and how we should confront them.
President Obama addresses drones and Guantanamo Bay prison. I'm Amita Sharma. Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, we'll have the key points from the president's speech on national security. Plus, Californians get a first-hand look at health plans under the president's Affordable Care Act. And a new report reveals poor working conditions for cab drivers is a major public safety issue. How the city of San Diego plans to take action.
KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Irwin Jacobs and by
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Dwayne Brown and Peggy Pico have the night off. President Obama defended the controversial use of drone attacks against U.S. citizens abroad. It was part of a speech today on national security, but the president emphasized that he's open to accepting increased oversight of lethal drones outside of war zones. Obama also renewed his push to close the Guantanamo Bay detention center, and he announced he's lifting a moratorium on prison transfers in Yemen. Obama spoke one day after his administration disclosed the death of a fourth American killed in a drone strike abroad.
From our use of drones to the detention of terrorist suspects, the decisions that we are making now will define the type of nation and world that we leave to our children. So America's at a crossroads.
Researchers from the U.S.-Mexico border region launched a report today on the state of the border. They looked at security, trade, quality of life, and the border environment. Jill Replogle from our Fronteras desk is with us with some highlights from the report. Jill, what stood out for you in this report? What's new?
Well, I'll focus on border security since it's such a hot topic and one of the more controversial aspects of the immigration reform bill that's being debated in the full Senate next week. So the authors made a case that we've beefed up the Border Patrol so much to more than 21,000 agents today that we've reached a point of diminishing returns. So Border Patrol agents are catching fewer illegal crossers, and presumably that's because fewer people are trying to cross. In El Paso, for example, in 2011, there were just 4 people arrested for each Border Patrol agent. And yet the Senate bill calls for 3,500 more agents along the border.
We should mention the report was authored by researchers from COLEF in Tijuana, the D.C.-based Wilson Institute, and the North American Center for Transborder Studies in Arizona. Jill, border security is still a big issue, though. The battle among drug traffickers in Mexico is still claiming lives daily. What did the authors suggest for improving border security?
They say we should be focusing on measures not necessarily in the border region. For example, doing a better job of investigating cross-border money laundering and arms trafficking at the source of that trafficking. And this is interesting. Nearly 70% of firearms seized by Mexican authorities and traced were originally bought in Texas, California, and Arizona. So clearly they're coming from the U.S. The authors also say we need more immigrations and customs officers at the legal ports of entry, so like at San Ysidro. And I should note the Senate bill does call for more of these agents.
Fronteras desk reporter Jill Replogle. You can read more from the report and find a link at fronterasdesk.org. California today announced 13 different health insurance plans, which it says will give millions of residents affordable and quality coverage. The plans are part of California's new state-run health insurance market under the Federal Affordable Care Act. Joining me to talk about the new health care plans are Jan Spenceley, Executive Director of San Diegans for Healthcare Coverage, and Vince Mudd, President and owner of San Diego Office Interiors. Jan, insurers will sell policies in 4 broad categories of coverage. How do the proposed new rates compare to what they are for San Diego right now?
Well, actually, the publication of these rates was a real relief to me. These compare very favorably. In fact, on average, I believe they are 8% lower for San Diego than small group rates. And those are usually higher than individual rates. So I think they compare very favorably. And given all the projections of doom, gloom, 30 to 40% higher rates, this was a welcome relief.
And we have a graphic right here telling us what those rates, the average rates, are. Vince, the state has not yet announced its options for small businesses to buy health insurance plans, but the White House has said that it expects costs to come down for businesses. Do you agree?
I do, based on the individual market plan that was announced today. Because a small business market plan, if it's the same number, my current group plan for a 40-year-old individual is $356. In the exchange, the non-group plan right now is $340. So if it's already lower than my current group plan, it bodes well for my business group plan. But at the end of the day, small companies would like to provide some kind of care for their employees or know their employees are getting care. What happened today means that their employees can get good quality health care, and the rate that they would pay is reasonable.
So, Vince, you're a business owner. Then do you expect insurance coverage to expand for businesses or probably not shrink, right?
I don't think it will shrink because at the end of the day, if you're already providing it, it's not going to shrink. And as a matter of fact, you're going to benefit from the lower rates, even if you're already offering the care. So I don't see anyone dropping. Number two, most companies do not pay fines for things that they're not getting value for. So the odds of a lot of business people who currently offer the plan paying a fine or not offering it in the future just to pay a fine to receive no benefit for it, we don't work like that as capitalists. I think the truth of the matter is if there's a plan available, it's reasonable and affordable, gets quality care for my employees, most companies are going to try to find a way to get it.
But what Vince is saying runs contrary to what we're hearing from people who aren't happy with the Federal Affordable Care Act, right?
It does run contrary, but so far, a lot of those folks, I think, I'm not going to name company names, but that said that they were going to drop their coverage and they were going to drop their hours, they haven't done so. I think nobody likes to be told to do something or to think that they're being coerced into it. I think there's more reaction to that than to the reality that their health benefits, the cost of their health benefits, the growth in it will go down. This is the first indication, and we truly expect that to happen. Will some drop coverage? Possibly. They do right now. It's been declining for some years. Will others pick up coverage? Yes. And so how that works out, we have to wait and see.
So, Jan, Cigna, United Healthcare, and Aetna have decided to opt out of California's insurance exchange program. Is that going to hurt competition?
Actually, we have in San Diego 6 very good health plans that are, and there will be more, I expect, when there's some additional plans are allowed in under the bridge plan model. And I think it's actually, that's good competition. If it's any willing provider, I think the exchange decided that it would be one, more complicated, but two, less competitive. You had less to offer them in terms of market. So I think we have a good array of plans here in San Diego. Excellent array.
Vince, very quickly, are there any disadvantages to what you saw announced today by the state?
Only one that I see, and that is there are employers who feel like they should have nothing to do with health care for their employees. And because these plans are affordable, some of those employers will be happy to completely opt out of the system. Not because of the paying the fine and everything else, but just because they now know they can feel better about themselves, that there's a plan available for people that's affordable. That is a good thing for some employers and a bad thing for some folks. So I just say that.
And I have to add to that, that's a good thing for the consumers, for their employees and their families.
Right.
And because what they get offered through the exchange may actually be more affordable and more comprehensive than what their employer-sponsored coverage is today.
And we've got to close it there. Jan, Vince, thanks for coming on the program today. Openly gay boys will be allowed to become Boy Scouts today. The group voted to change its long-standing policy for minors, but gay adults will still be barred from serving as Scout leaders. So the outcome will likely not end the debate over the Scouts' membership policy. The new rules go into effect in January. Governor Jerry Brown's crusade for climate change continues. Today, he released a 20-page call to action on environmental problems. It aims to provide lawmakers with specific action items. They include ensuring adequate water supplies, restoring wetlands, and developing new materials to curb the release of toxic substances. Soon, there will be fewer homeless veterans on the streets of San Diego. The city's Housing Commission announced it will receive 185 more housing vouchers for veterans veterans this year, bringing the total available to 620. But the program does more than just help homeless veterans afford a place of their own.
The VA provides case managers to work closely with the veteran throughout the entire process of transitioning from homelessness to becoming housed.
I hope, as mayor of San Diego, to be the first city where we get all veterans off the street. And we have great plans to do this.
The Housing Commission expects to receive the vouchers any day, and the VA has already started to interview candidates. In 2011, a taxi cab driver fell asleep at the wheel and crashed into a crowd outside the Stingery nightclub downtown. That incident brought more attention to the working conditions of taxi drivers. But 2 years later, few changes have been made. KPBS reporter Claire Trageser tells us a new study hopes to change that.
Abdi Ali is from Somalia and has been driving a taxi in San Diego for 5 years.
I drive 12 hours a day, almost every day. Almost have no time with my 5-year daughter and my wife.
Many San Diego taxi drivers like Ali are caught in a system that requires them to work long hours for little money and encourages them to drive when they're sick or tired. That's according to a new study from the Center on Policy Initiatives and San Diego State University. Researchers surveyed 331 taxi drivers over the last 2 months. They found most drivers don't own their cars, but instead lease them at expensive rates. To pay for their leases and have any money left over, drivers often must work more than 70 hours a week. That's according to Jill Espenshade, an SDSU professor who wrote the study.
The biggest portion of the taxi fare that you pay and the tips that you give to the driver actually goes to paying the lease.
The study found that after lease payments and other expenses like gas, drivers earn on average less than $5 an hour. Because of their tight budgets, drivers are pressured to work when they're sick and not repair their cars. That leaves overworked and sick people driving broken cars all over the city. Taxi driver Ali could face retaliation from his leaseholder for speaking out about working conditions. But he says that doesn't matter.
We're tired of not speaking up, but this is the time to speak up and our voice to be heard.
Claire Trageser, KPBS News.
Labor Council leader Lorena Gonzalez is heading to Sacramento to represent the 80th Assembly District. Schools trustee Richard Barrera will replace her at the local union coalition. KPBS education reporter Kyla Calvert joins us from the News Center with details. Was Barrera's selection to lead the Labor Council a surprise?
Not really. It's been sort of an open secret for a while that that Barrera would probably take over for Gonzalez. He seems to have been at her side and the mayor's side at every political event in the last few months. And Barrera has spent years working as a community and union organizer. He'll be leaving a job with the California Nurses Association to move over to the council.
He's keeping his seat on the Board of Education. Is that a conflict of interest?
That's right. Barrera has decided to keep his seat on the board, and he says the new job doesn't change anything for him. He says he's had to make decisions that have been unpopular with employee unions in the 5 years he's been on the board, and that he'll continue to make those decisions when necessary. And he plans to recuse himself from any voting on school board issues that the Labor Council takes a position on. I spoke with San Diego State political science professor Brian Adams, and he says it's pretty common for part-time elected officials to have another politically oriented job, but it won't necessarily be easy for Barrera to appear impartial to the public. The state's conflict of interest laws apply mainly to situations where elected officials stand to get direct personal financial gain from a decision they're making, so probably wouldn't apply to Barrera in this case.
KPBS education reporter Kyla Calvert, thank you. A brush fire is burning near Borrego Springs at this hour as crews prepare for a difficult fire season. KPBS reporter Susan Murphy says nearly 1,000 firefighters from around San Diego County have teamed up for 3 days of wildfire training.
They're ready for battle. Time is critical. These San Diego County firefighters are working to put out a fast-moving wildfire near Verona in East County. But today there's no flames and no danger. The firefighters are training for a potentially dangerous fire season. California's wildfire season is already off to a ferocious start. Firefighters have battled 1,600 fires so far. That's 500 more fires compared with the same period last year.
That was Copter 1.
Ken Kremensky is fire chief with the Verona Fire Department.
We're going to have to be really careful this year. We do every year, but so burning a little hotter and a little more extreme than normal.
Kremensky says it's essential for all of the county fire departments to train together.
You know, a big part of it's relationships, getting to know the other firefighters. So when they do go to a fire, they've already trained together. It smooths the operations down. They've worked. They know each other.
15 fire agencies and nearly 1,000 firefighters from around the county, along with CAL FIRE, the military, National Weather Service, and SDG&E, are taking part in the 3-day exercise. They're practicing hose lays, aerial water assaults, and clearing brush to make fire breaks.
Branch 1, did you copy the last?
Kremensky says dry vegetation is a huge concern this year.
How about the fuels? We're in a drought this year, or moderate to severe through most of California. And the lack of rainfall in the last year has caused the fuels to be burning. Right now, they're burning like they would at the end of July.
Kremensky says the public is part of the firefighting team and plays a crucial role.
Part of the partnership is the citizens out in the community as well, especially the folks that are living in the wildland areas. They can do a lot to help us out by clearing around their houses, the 100-foot clearance.
Today, the firefighters won the battle, but Kremensky says they're bracing for a tough fight.
The potential is if we get numerous fires, it's really going to draw down the resources, and those fires are going to get bigger, and they're going to be more difficult to control because the fuels are so dry.
Susan Murphy, KPBS News.
Young children, especially toddlers, love water, but the combination can be deadly if no adults are around. Each year, hundreds drown in pools, lakes, and the ocean. As summer unofficially gets started with Memorial Day weekend, we take a look at how to protect children from drownings. Sue Cox is Director of Trauma and Volunteer Services at Rady Children's Hospital. She joins me now. Sue, how quickly can a drowning occur, even if a parent turns his or her back for just a few minutes?
It can happen in seconds, and it's very silent, so you don't get a warning. So you have to really be vigilant.
What are some of the typical scenarios under which drownings occur?
There are a couple of scenarios. One is that the parents are distracted for some reason, a phone call, maybe taking a nap, and the child gets out of the house and into the yard, and there's no fence around the pool, and the child gets right to the pool. If toys are left in the pool, they might be intrigued by that, or just the water's intriguing to them. The other scenario that's going to be really at play this weekend is parties. You have a pool party, lots of adults, lots of kids around, and a child slips under the water, nobody notices, nobody's assigned to watch for that, and a child's missing for a period of time, and nobody really knows how long.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission has come out with a list of the most common places where drownings happen. Tell me about that.
It happens in backyard pools and spas primarily. In San Diego County, we also have a number of bathtub drownings.
And we have a graphic of that right now.
Exactly.
And so 53% of the drownings happen at home.
Happen at home or in someone else's home. It can be a relative's home or a neighbor's home.
And then 26% happen, as you say, at the homes of families or friends, and then 9% at public communities or businesses. Tell me, what are some of the statistics for San Diego County?
Okay, we see about somewhere between 65 and 70% of drownings happening in backyard pools and spas. With 0 to 4-year-olds, so the younger children, it's almost exclusively in backyard pools and spas, but also bathtubs, and we occasionally will have a bucket drowning. This time of year when people are getting out their little wading pools, it's also important to realize that a child can drown in a couple of inches of water. So any kind of a body of water, even if it's small, a bucket or a dog dish or a small wading pool, a young child can drown in it.
What are some safety tips for parents?
The most important thing is to realize it can happen and to be vigilant. To have barriers, if you have a pool in the backyard, to have barriers between the house and the pool. And the best barrier you can have is a 5-foot or higher exclusionary fence, so it can't be accessed by the house. The house isn't a side of the fence, and it has a self-latching gate. It also should be a fence that doesn't have toe holes or footholds that kids can climb up, because they're very good at climbing.
And what is the Water Watcher program?
Now, the Water Watcher program is a program that we've started many years ago, and it basically tells people that when you have a pool event, you're out around the pool, that you formally assign a person, an adult, somebody who can swim, to watch the kids. And that's their responsibility. They don't drink, they don't leave. If they have to leave, they assign another adult to be the water watcher, because children really can silently fall into the pool or slide into the pool and not be noticed.
And if a near drowning happens, what is the first course of action once the child is rescued from the water?
To pull the child out, the best case scenario is that the adult there knows CPR. To check for a pulse, to do everything that CPR teaches you, and also to call 911 quickly. If the child is sputtering and breathes, it's not quite as urgent, but a child who is unresponsive, get that 911 call made really quickly.
And when a child is brought into the ER after a near drowning has occurred, how likely is it that the child can be saved?
Well, many times with drowning situations, we don't really know how long the child was under the water. If they've been missing for a period of time, we don't know if they were walking around the pool and just fell in, or whether they fell in 10 minutes ago. So we do everything that we can to resuscitate the child, but a child has 4 to 6 minutes before they have permanent brain damage if they fall into the pool and can't breathe.
Sue Cox, thanks for coming in on the program.
You're
Hopefully
welcome.
this will save lives.
Thank you.
The Weather Service says it's going to be cloudy but nice over the next few days. Coastal temperatures will be in the 60s through the weekend. A bit warmer for the inland valleys. Look for temperatures in the 70s. Mountain temperatures will also be in the 70s. Sunny and hot in the desert with temperatures in the 90s. San Diego County beaches earned good grades for water quality. The environmental group Heal the Bay is out with its annual report card. About 99% of beaches got A's and B's for their water during dry summer months, but the Tijuana Rivermouth got a C during that time period. As for water quality during wet winter months, most local beaches got a B grade or higher. If you've ever been to San Diego's Air and Space Museum in Balboa Park, you've probably seen one of its centerpiece exhibits. It's a perfect copy of Charles Lindbergh's plane, the Spirit of St. Louis. But there's a little known story about that aircraft on display. It involves a local lumber company that recently turned 100 years of age. Ken Kramer shows us in tonight's About San Diego.
This is cypress that comes out of the south of the U.S., and it's a very durable wood.
The story begins at what you might think is an unlikely place, at a lumber company in the Miramar area. It's called Frost Lumber, and it's been around a very long time. Nowadays, the owner is G.T. Frost, Jr.
My grandfather started the business in 1911.
100+ years, 4 generations of the Frost family, going all the way back to when San Diego had only 37,000 people, and homes that had a raised foundation, well, they needed flooring.
So a lot of our wood is in San Diego homes up in North Park and around in Kensington.
So there's the lumber company, and then, unfortunately, there's this. (1978) and the Aerospace Museum, a gem of Balboa Park, full of priceless memorabilia and of airplanes, one of the real treasures in our city, burned to the ground, and in it, lost forever, was a perfect replica of the Spirit of St. Louis, Charles Lindbergh's plane. It was a tragedy, and right away museum volunteers said, we got to make another one.
There will be another Spirit of St. Louis. Somehow we're going to build one, and we have the skills and the artisans and the plans.
We had the sources for this type of material, and so we were the right guys to do it.
The right guys to get and donate the wood, because it wasn't just any wood. No, it had to be spruce, just like the original Spirit of St. Louis.
Aircraft grade spruce has to have a very tight ring structure. It's very, very specific, and there's not much of it around.
It took months shaping the wood, crafting it to the exact specifications set forth in the building of the original Spirit. It was a heroic project. And, of course, there it is today, an exact replacement of the one lost in the fire, now at the new Air and Space Museum in Balboa Park. It's a very precise replica of the actual Spirit of St. Louis. which of course was built for Charles Lindbergh in San Diego at Ryan back in the 1920s. There in the lobby at Frost Lumber is a plaque thanking the company for its donation, and it's quite a nice thing.
Wonderful. Yeah. It's a great feeling.
And in case you wonder, why did they do that? Give all that specialized wood to this one particular project? Well, go back in time. Remember we said the company had been around for more than a century? In fact, in the 1920s, G.T. Frost's granddad may have gotten the very spruce wood that Charles Lindbergh needed to build what would become the most famous plane in the world.
We believe that he sold that to Ryan to make the wings on the very first Spirit of St. Louis.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it is. It's great.
So the cycle is completed, and here's a happy birthday to the family. 4 generations of Frosts. These days, there just aren't a lot of things that last 100 years, and fewer still that can say they've helped make history about San Diego.
By the way, Charles Lindbergh's historic flight from New York to Paris happened 86 years ago this week. If you want to watch more of Ken's stories about San Diego, his half-hour show can be seen tonight and every Thursday night at 8 here on KPBS. Tonight's stories are online at kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.